All right, what's up, Facebook and YouTube? Welcome to our Off-Road Essentials tonight. So, a little bit different format tonight that we are going to put out there. So I've got Bo Rosa. He's going to join me from Southern Four-Wheel Drive Association. He is the president of Southern Four-Wheel Drive Association. And he's going to talk a little bit about Southern, what they've got going on, and talk a little bit about Trail Fest. Hey, Susie. Hey, Sean. Hey, Randy. Hey, Dan. A little bit about what we've been up to. So I've been on the road. Was down in right outside of Nashville working, and we got to do some work with Bronco Club out there, the Tennessee Bronco Club, and also got to do some work with Hyundai. Can't talk too much about that, but that was super exciting. We had a really good time doing that. So I'm just getting back home. I actually rolled in last night about 11 o'clock. So still getting my feet and everything back underneath me. And we're actually pushing through. We've got a level 1 class this Friday. So super excited about that. It's our first level 1 class in Kentucky on our new obstacle course. So really, really excited. Hey, Chris. Yes, possibly, Susie. We possibly will be coming to North Carolina here soon. Sarah and I are building out the calendar, and we're trying to work something in on down at Uwharrie and maybe even something somewhere else in North Carolina. So stay tuned. All right. So let me bring Mr. Bo Rosa here. Hey, Bo.
Hey, Mike.
So again, like I said earlier, Bo is the president of Southern Four-Wheel Drive. He's kind of the driving force of Southern. He's going on your 3rd year as president, right, Bo?
Yep.
And before that, you were director of membership, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Bo's been with Southern for a while. He, again, has kind of been the driving force here for the last 3 years, really helping us kind of do some tidying up within the association, like closing down and finishing up the lawsuit and everything on the backcountry byway, the Daniel Boone backcountry byway. So he was able to bring that to a close after 6 years, right? 6 years we were in that.
6-7 years is quite a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to let Bo kind of take over. But Bo, tell us a little bit about what Southern's been up to lately, and then we'll move into talking a little bit about Trail Fest.
So here lately, we've been working on Golden Mountain. Randall Davis has really been a big driver for that, trying to see what we could do to help get the park back open. The owners are very generous and very open to opening that off-road park. It's out there in Tennessee, not too far from Colmont. We've also been working on some things for Trail Fest, getting some new businesses, new style of businesses. Just this week, we had Overlander Weekly, so they joined us, and they're looking to do some great things at Trail Fest. Talked to some folks. One of our good buddies, Darren, Mike, he's interested in coming along and helping do some education things at Trail Fest. So really been pushing hard, getting those plans in place. I don't know, working. Should I talk about Trail Fest now, or?
Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about Trail Fest. And while we're talking about it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to throw up a QR code here up in the corner. If I can get it to show up, maybe I can. Okay. There we go. And that will take you right to sfwda.org to the sign up for Trail Fest. So if you guys are interested in coming, which I suggest you do, while Bo's talking about it, you can scan that QR code and go right over and sign up.
Yeah, so Trail Fest is one of our 2 main events that we have every year. We have Trail Fest and Dixie Run, and that's how we generate revenue, is by bringing people out to go recreate at the various parks. So this year's Trail Fest is at Colmont. Dixie Run's going to be at Windrock. So Trail Fest will be the weekend of April the 12th, and then Dixie Run will be at the end of September, the last weekend of September rolling into October. Super excited about Trail Fest at Colmont this year. Last year it was at Uwharrie. The last 2 years it was at Uwharrie. So this year we're going to. Go ahead.
So Coalmont's kind of a big deal. Why is Coalmont, you know, such a big deal? I know Southern was to a certain extent involved in getting that open, right?
Yeah, Southern helped get RTP funds going. One of the past presidents of Southern, Roger, he has been key in getting that park open. You know, anytime we can get a new off-road park open, it's huge. Um, so Southern's been very involved with getting that started. There's been grants issued. I know Kevin, our director of conservation last year, got a grant through, I think it was Polaris. Kevin, if you're watching correctly, for $10,000 to get some line run and some things done. So we've been really working on getting grants going for that park, um, so that we could have a big event there. And we're going to be the first big major event over there.
Yeah, and so that's run by the town of Coalmont in Tennessee.
Yes, yeah. There's some. They run it, and they're doing a great job. People have been recreating there for since the summer. I guess the official open date was August of this year, or 2023, was the official date. But we're going to be the first big event. So
That's awesome. So I've actually started noticing that more and more towns are starting to kind of have their own off-road parks. You've got the same, or counties and towns, but you've got here in Kentucky, Hollerwood is actually run by Powell County, I think it is. So I think, it seems like they're starting to see the benefit to having that.
yeah, it's a great source of revenue. Pretty much any kind of outdoor recreation is motorized recreation. Whether you're hiking, biking, fishing, anything you do outdoors, pretty much you're going to drive your vehicle to that location, which is a motorized vehicle, and then recreate. So, if you're a fly fisherman going out to fish, you got to drive your car to get there, pretty much. I mean, unless you live right next to the stream. But communities are realizing that motorized recreation is huge, a great big of source of ecotourism, which they generate revenue, and then your property taxes are less. So that's always a great thing for the people that live there.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so with Trailfest typically, like you had said, it moves every 2 years, right? So we always try to do it someplace new.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for, if you've never been to an area or been to a park and you've been wanting to go, like, man, I really want to go check out Colmont. Trailfest is the opportunity because we're going to have guided rides. Typically, one of the Southern Four Wheel Drive member clubs will step up and say, "Hey, we want to guide these rides. We want to help out." At UR, in the last couple of years, it was Carolina Trailblazers and Triad Jeep Club. This year at Colmont, Southeast Toyota Land Cruisers have stepped up to the plate, and hey, we want to lead the guides. We want to help out. And actually, today I had a gentleman, Russ Watkins. Russ reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm available to be a guide. Let me know." So I put him in touch with the Southeast Toyota Land Cruisers, and they're going to get him registered up as a guide. My understanding is they need a couple more for Friday if they want to have a whole bunch of rides. And they have a whole bunch of rides set up for Saturday, which will be exciting.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So, um, I've been to a few Southern events, but rumor always has it that the Southern raffles are pretty epic. You know, everything from tires to four-way tire inflation systems, suspensions. I mean, recovery gear, all kinds of stuff in the raffles. But primarily, that's where Southern raises its funds. Right? Is from that raffle.
Yeah, the raffle's really big. Southern partners with some of the leaders in the industry, Warren, BFG, a lot of the local shops, Tennessee Off-Road, Carolina Customs, Weber Automotive, Wheats Off-Road. So all these shops recognize that Southern people want to go out on the trail and they need the best products that they can put on their vehicles. So they usually donate. Morphlate has been huge. Rhino USA has been huge. Warren Factor 55, BFG, Kumho tires donated to the volunteer raffle this year. So really have a
Wow.
array. it's been awesome. Last year, I wanted the tube doors that got raffled off for my Gladiator, and a young lady with a JL won them. So it's always something exciting, always something interesting, and there's always a lot of products.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And so, as I understand it, Southern Four Wheel Drive's mission statement is conservation, recreation, and education. So, um, for those of you that don't know, I sit on the board as the director of education, so I handle that side of it. But the conservation, um, Kevin Henderson runs the conservation, but he does. So he goes out and searches for grants, but not only that, he's in charge of Southern's grant program, right? So if a club requests grant money from Southern, those funds come from the raffles, right?
Yep. Those funds come from the raffles and they go directly to the trail systems. Uwari got a couple of grants. One of the grants that Kevin helped Uwari get was with Tread Lightly and the United States Forest Service to put up new signage at Uwari. If you'd ever been there, the signage, it was time for having new signage out there. And Tread Lightly and the Forest Service are working on a standard set of signage. And the Uwari Forest Project is going to be the kind of the sample. He's also worked with some clubs about getting passing on the extreme terrain grant so that they have money to host a work day. They can use that money for doing food at the work day or buying tools. A lot of times you need like an auger or a bit for your auger. If you've ever worked a work day at Uwari, drilling through that rock and putting up guardrail, you learn an affinity to love and hate that auger.
Yeah.
It's whipped me several times. But yep, Kevin is doing a great job of that. Last year we helped get over $20,000 in grants.
Wow.
Yep. So this year, we're looking for some big things. I actually just texted Kevin probably about 7 o'clock saying, "Hey, I heard about this cool grant. It is awesome. We should look into that grant and see where we can, help an organization apply for it, or if we can apply and pass it on."
Wow. That's awesome. At the end of the day, off-road parks and public lands that we're recreating on, they're going to take use just from the sheer amount of people going through there. So there's got to be some way to kind of put back into it, and you've got to have fun somewhere. Manpower a lot of times is easier to get than the funds. We all know, like Uwari is a perfect example. The Forest Service, they're underfunded as it is. So
Yep.
whatever little bit of money they have, it goes to just keeping the forest running mostly. So it's nice to be able to get those grants and put those into kind of fruition.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be something as simple as a load of gravel that might save a trail from eroding and save that trail system. So that's really Kevin has done a great job at looking at some of those things and continuing to look at some of the other parks across the country. Um, the president of Apex, uh, Denny, keeps inviting him out to a bunch of the events to check out the parks near here. I still haven't figured out how to say Choco Loco chocolate. It's
Yeah.
definitely Denny is trying to get me to come down to, and I need to take off work and go see it. But yeah, Kevin's working hard at identifying some of those stuff. So if you have a favorite park that your club or whatever recreates at and it needs a little help, definitely let us know.
That's awesome. So everybody, again, got the QR code right there for Southern Four Wheel Drive Association's Trail Fest. Make sure you scan that code. If you don't scan it now, you can go to sfwda.org and go through and actually go to the events section, and you can sign up for Trail Fest right there. Support's a great cause. One other thing that I'll mention is Southern Four Wheel Drive Association is a nonprofit. It's member driven, right? It's member driven, and I really encourage you to become a member. Whether you become an individual member or become a club member, get your club on board, because there are benefits to being a club and being a member of Southern.
Yep.
Um, Yep, just you can actually get insurance for your events and stuff through Southern, which is something that they do offer. But those funds, again, they go right back into Southern and help them do conservation projects all across the Southeast. I mean, it's not just, one or two parks here and there. I mean, there's stuff at Windrock that Southern has helped out with. There's stuff in Kentucky that they've helped out with, North Carolina, several different parks in Tennessee. So, if you've been on some off-road trails somewhere in the Southeast, chances are Southern's helped with those at some point in time. Even parks that I haven't been to, Southern's kind of been a part of. So I really encourage you guys to go join. And most importantly, if you've got some time to put in to volunteer at events, or you've got some expertise that the board needs, hint, hint, social media, right? And communications, or, you've got stuff with writing grants, Kevin and those guys really need your help. So think about it, guys. Um, all positions come up for reelection every 2 years, right, Bo?
Yep. So every December we have our annual meeting, and half the board is up for election, and then the next year the other half is. Like you said, many hands make light work. There's a lot of things that I just don't know, don't have the bandwidth to know, or there's somebody else that's way better at knowing that. So definitely reach out. I always need help. I really do. So if you're interested, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So any major projects that Southern's working on coming up in the future?
That's a secret for right now, but it involves mountain. Um, right now, I really want us, and we're working hard at getting this Golden Mountain open for off-road recreation. They have a wonderful dirt track, and like I said, the owners are fantastic, fantastic people, and they're really working hard to get things set up properly. And that's going to be the big focus, is making sure things are sustainable and done right, so it doesn't have to close back down for any kind of reason. Um, but I'm looking for us to do a lot of good work there, and then reaching out to some of the smaller parks across the southeast. And hey, what do you need? How can we help? How can we make an impact? Either through our clubs or through Southern as an organization. The big thing, the next 2 years will be making some impacts at some of these other parks.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely see that because, I don't think a lot of people really understand that even though a park is technically, it can be a private park like Windrock and some of these other parks, Leatherwood, even though they're private, they still have to worry about erosion. They still have to worry about their impact and everything else, because if their soil's washing away to their neighbors, then somebody's going to complain as a neighbor, and then they can get shut down, right?
Absolutely. Sustainability is it's the buzzword of the times right now as far as OHV. Um, if you're not doing things in a sustainable way, you're not going to be doing them for much longer. And part of that, we follow Tread Lightly. That helps make things sustainable. Um, but yeah, looking forward, I really see sustainability being the key to keeping OHV open and access open.
Yeah, because so now you sit in on a ton of different phone calls with groups like Orba, NAMRAC. You're always, I see the board chat, you're always throwing up some new phone call on some night. So
Yep.
I'm guessing that, the sustainability stuff is something that there is all across the country right now, right?
Yeah, sustainability is huge right now. If you follow deep into the political realm, the 30 by 30 uh, stuff that's in the works right now about closing 30% of outdoor recreation in the next 30 years, excuse me, is something that we're actively working against. And right behind it is the bill for 50 by 50. So, there's a potential for an 80% loss of access. Groups like Orba, NAMRAC, they're out there every day in the political hemisphere fighting that. Orba has issued some lawsuits against the Moab closings. Some of those groups focus out west, but they are national focused groups. Um, definitely look them up, support them. If you see a post that says, "Hey, we're really looking for people to write letters of comment," just write a letter of comment. It could go to your Forest Service, your senator, anybody that says, "Hey, I support this off-road recreation area." Uh, Pictures and things like that really do help, and that they do take notice of those letters of comment.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely. I've always heard, that really is one of the best ways. Is just something as simple as writing a letter that says, hey, I enjoy recreating in URI or wherever it may be. Really kind of does hit home. Again, at the end of the day, politicians want to get voted in, right?
That's exactly right. This weekend over there in West Virginia, they're having at the state capitol a big thing. My good buddy Jed Smith is out there. The Northeastern Tread Lightly rep is out there. So definitely across the country, it's very impactful for people to hear your voice.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Well, I know you've been working all day and you've been hitting it hard, but everybody, Bo Rosa, president of Southern Four Wheel Drive Association, make sure you don't miss out on Trail Fest. It's in Colmont, Tennessee, at Colmont OHV. Go support Southern, become a member of Southern, and if you know businesses that aren't a member of Southern, make them be a member of Southern. And check out their website, sfwda.org, but look at their business members and who supports them, and you support them, right? At the end of the day, we want to support businesses who are helping keep our trails open. If a business is not involved in the community, it's not a good thing, right? It's not a good thing. So we want to make sure we're supporting those groups that are doing that, and helping us have trails to recreate on. But Bo, I know you've been working all day. Thank you so much for joining in and sharing a little bit about what Southern's doing, and sharing a little bit about Trail Fest.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, if you happen to see Bo hanging around at an event, make sure you give the guy a pat on the back. Again, he spends so much time on phone calls and keeping the board moving forward. All those guys do. Anybody that sits on the boards with Southern, there's a ton of time that goes into it. So make sure you give him a pat on the back and a thank you. All right. So I've got a product of the week for you right here. So throw a QR code up there. Glue tread, right? Glue treads. Glue treads are a sidewall repair kit. Okay. It is huge rubber patches. If you've seen me at an event, it's a good chance that I've done a repair or a demonstration with them. They are not roadable road patches, but they are a repair that you can make temporarily to get off the trail, and they work. They work. It's actually a huge rubber patch that you glue onto the sidewall of your tire. It's a great little kit to carry. I believe this one runs about $60, but it comes with, a slew of different sizes of patches and enough to patch a tire. I don't know how many times. It comes with the accelerant, the glue, all kinds of stuff. And again, this is something that I don't leave home without. But hopefully here soon, once we kind of get set up and get these streams running pretty good, we're going to kind of move them out into the shop behind where we're at now, and I'll start doing some more product demonstrations and stuff. But Glue Tread, check it out. Go to that QR code right there. Takes you Revere Overland, and you can order a glue tread for yourself, and they'll ship it right out to you. Or if you see me at an event, there's a chance I may have one tucked away somewhere that I can sell for you. Or I may try to get some for some giveaways at some events. So very cool. The other thing I'm going to throw up, let me see what I got going on here. Shirts. So we haven't really done a good job of marketing this, but Sarah and I have a whole line of different shirts that we have designed ourselves actually, and put up for sale. So this one right here is our Trail Snot shirt. We kind of coined the term Trail Snot from riding trails at URI. When you get that top inch of of mud that you're trying to plow your way through. So, and it's just super slick, super slick. So that's our first shirt, Trail Snot. Our next one is rooftop tents protecting us from lions, right? For all you people that have rooftop tents and stuff on your vehicle, they're from the outback and from in South Africa where people sleep on top of their vehicles so that they can stay safe from lions. We don't have those here, but we still like rooftop tents, right? So we've got that one. And then Overlandy Life, making car camping cool again. The overland world's a trip because we've coined the overland term and everything's overland this and overland that. But really, it's car camping, right? So these are just some shirts that we designed. And again, I haven't done a great job of marketing. We've had them for a few years now. But you can go check them out at our Spreadshirt page. But most importantly, again, our sponsors, Revere Overland and Commonwealth 4x4, the glue treads, go check them out and kind of support them because they're helping us kind of put these streams and stuff together. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So nothing else super big tonight because, again, I just got in late last night. But if you have an idea for a stream, you have some information you want, send us a message on Facebook, on Instagram, comment on YouTube, like, share, do whatever. But if you have something specifically that you want to see, let us know what it'll be. I can run out of ideas, but at the same time, I can talk about anything. So I'm going to jump off here a little early tonight, and we're going to get a little bit of rest, and I'm going to start planning for our next live stream. And I've got some emails and stuff I've got to answer back on. But thank you guys so much for joining and kind of listening to us talk a little bit about Southern and a little bit about what's going on in the realm of conservation and events and such. But you guys get out, find some adventure, and we'll see you on the trails.